All right. Well, we've tweeted the link, so maybe some people will join us here in just a
All of
second.
the magic is about to happen.
All of the magic is about to happen. We have 3, David. There are 3.
I don't know how much magic it is, though, really.
I'm not sure either. Well, hey, everybody. We're up to 10. So, hey, guys, this is Andrew with Nashville Severe Weather, and I've got David over here, too.
I'm eating
As
dinner,
you guys
y'all.
know,
I got some chicken.
he's eating some chicken, so it's supper time.
That's
And
how
we got
worried I am about this line.
that's yeah. This is we got a lot of storms coming in. This is non-severe, and we'll say that several times. Y'all are used to us getting on at when we have severe weather come through. We got some strong weather. In fact, they issued, David, what used to be called a significant weather advisory. It's just a statement saying, hey, there's some storms coming in. They're not real strong at all, and in fact, they certainly are not severe. So um, let's just kind of jump in, and I'm going to share my screen, David, and kind of see what we have on radar. And this is what we got on radar. So back to the west of us, we've got some storms coming in that, again, are non-severe for those of you joining us. And we're just jumping on here just to kind of try some things out and do things a little bit differently. So we've got this line of storms coming in back to the west, and it does have some lightning with it, some cloud-to-ground lightning, a lot of cloud-to-cloud lightning too. But really, it doesn't look like it's strengthening. In fact, these look like they are maybe even weakening some as they come in, just kind of like the line did before. So, David, how's your chicken?
Pretty good. It's very
Not,
tender.
well, that's good.
There's a CG strike just south of Charlotte. CG all means cloud to ground. It's
Yeah,
right in
so
that
right
little
here we got.
appendage due south. Yeah.
That's right. We
So,
get a little cloud-to-ground strike there.
and really, when you go into the Spc Measure Analysis page, it doesn't think there's any CAPE, but obviously there is some. It's pretty elevated, though, I would think, which would suggest that we probably could get lightning out of here. I know that there's soccer games that didn't get rained out and lacrosse going on. So y'all might have to go into a lightning delay, although I would think that I'm over here looking outside like I'm going to tell better. I would think that we would be okay for a little bit, but we might have to go into lightning protocols here as this line should die off a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll
So
see.
yeah,
I don't know.
we've
We'll
got
watch it.
several games that have been rained out. I think Will's family had some games that got rained out. Ours did too. And so, yep, it's just that kind of day with that line of storms that came through earlier. Really not really a big deal earlier. And of course, they were non-severe, but it was enough to rain stuff out. So, again, those of you that are joining us in the last few minutes, quite a few of you, and this is a non-severe storm. So you are used to getting notifications and us coming on live when a warning is issued, and that still will be the case. But we might jump on from time to time when there's not a warning in effect, and just to talk about some of the weather coming in, or if we expect for warnings to be issued for us, we may jump on early as the storms are crossing the Tennessee River, racing toward Nashville, something like that. We may go ahead and jump on. So we wanted to sort of experiment with a little bit of a new platform we've been playing with to kind of see how it works, and we can see some of your comments over here. And David, while we're here, Leo here is asking about how does Wednesday look, and we've been talking about that over on the blog. We've been talking about Wednesday, and Wednesday's kind of getting some publicity with some of the outlooks and stuff that are out there. So Wednesday we're still a little bit too far ahead as far as being able to tell all the details, but we're really kind of hurting for a couple of the ingredients. Perhaps, David, we'll just have to see how it comes together in the next couple of days.
Yeah, waiting for the 0Z models to come in, frankly. I was looking at it earlier this evening before I started eating my chicken, and we don't have the 18Z models in yet either. I think all the way. And so for y'all know, there's the global models. There are those low res ones that I'm always talking about on Twitter that don't really give us the exact information y'all want. Like I have a golf match or whatever, and can I make it? And we don't really know because the low res models don't give us super specific information. So what ends up happening is they run 4 times a day. And all of the models so far have suggested there'd be a line of storms coming out of West Tennessee sometime between 7 p.m. Wednesday night and 2 a.m. Thursday morning. It's a huge, what's that, a 7-hour window, right? And it's because the data that we have right now only runs in 6-hour increments, and it runs at a much lower spatial resolution. So it's difficult for us to understand if that's going to be a 7 p.m. or a 2 p.m. or a 2 a.m. event. And it also depends on which model you look at. So we'll know a little bit more when the 0Z models come in tonight. Those are going to run all the way through 7 p.m. on Wednesday night, and that'll give us an idea as to whether they may be early. But even the short range models, as you know, Andrew, don't do very well either getting stuff nailed down. That said, this looks like a bigger threat to our west, as have been with most of these events. Those along the Tennessee River are going to be at a higher risk of severe weather than we will in Nashville and in Williamson County, because the storms are going to outrun the Cape, and the Cape is the storm fuel.
Yeah.
And when it outruns the storm fuel, we're still going to get a lot of wind, but it may be very difficult for an updraft to get rooted at the surface. So, and that's what you need in order to get tornado. So that is, yes, that is whoever SS says, right. This is it's just what you signed up for by getting on the stream, is nerd talk, and 10-year-old sweatshirts that your mother-in-law gave you. Um,
And you might even
so
see us eat dinner, which David would be doing if I didn't ask him a question.
yeah, well, I'm not afraid to talk with my mouth full. All that to say, like, my spidey senses aren't like worried about this one yet, but I think it's not never really helpful to get worried 48 hours away, especially when the
Right.
models don't agree, and especially when we have timing differences. And even SBC has kind of taken the area just to our west and said that's where the big danger is, and it should be weakening as we go further east. So I'm not like freaking out at this at all, but I just need to see more information. I mean, could I see this thing shifting and becoming a deal? Yeah, I could see it, but right now that's not my concern. So to answer y'all's question, this like the safest answer is the severe window of opportunities from 7 p.m. Wednesday night to 2 a.m. Thursday morning. Damaging straight line winds, if we get severe, are the most likely hazard.
Hmm.
Then after that, maybe some hail. Although if we can't get tornado, we probably can't get hail either, unless we get those. Well, we won't get too nerdy into it, but that's less likely. And then I think a few tornadoes are possible. The Weather Service had a briefing this morning with media and emergency managers, and we were on the call. And there's certainly would rather be here than in Southwest Middle Tennessee, and closer to the Tennessee River, where the severe weather threat is and the flash flood threat is greater. So we'll just see. I don't think there's any value in freaking out at this point. So that probably didn't answer your question.
Yeah, David.
Oh, there
Here's
it is.
that.
Yeah.
Here's that Spc Outlook you were talking about. This is the day 3. So this is for Wednesday,
Right.
and yeah, it
That's
does have that.
Wednesday night.
Yeah, this does have that. The heaviest risk, or the largest risk to our west. So we'll just kind of see how it plays out. And
Yeah, and in fact, Andrew, that if you could put that back up, that
yeah,
orange area was hatched earlier today, meaning you don't see it on this image, but when you go back behind the data, it was hatched, meaning that the winds, instead of hitting maybe 60 miles per hour, they could go over 70. Yeah, here's what he's talking about. And if there's tornado, you could get a few strong tornadoes in there. See how it's all kind of shaded in? That's really, I don't know why they do it that way. But it kind of cuts it off right before it gets into Williamson County and Davidson County. And I think that's kind of right. Like, looking at all the parameters, it looks like this system is going to outrun its fuel by the time it gets to us. So, all that said, I certainly am not one for sounding alarms in general, but this one doesn't look like that concerning yet. So that 0Z her should be in a couple of hours, and I'll certainly put a tweet down about that.
Yeah, and for those of
Help with
you
timing.
that the HRRR model, that's one that we look at pretty regularly, and we never like to say we rely on it. We don't want to give the impression that we just look at it and that's the forecast, but it's an idea of what may happen down the road. And back to our storm for today. Again, came on here without a warning. You're used to us coming on for a warning. This is without a warning, but this white box here was just a special weather statement put out by the Weather Service. And honestly, David, these storms look like they're sort of falling
Yeah.
apart.
So
As we go back
that
in time, you can see you got more
yeah,
reds and oranges back there to the west, and then as the storm comes in, looks like it, especially on the southern end, it's losing some of its power. But again, the weather statement here that they put out was really it was only for 30-mile-per-hour winds and pea-size hail. So, that's not going to do much more than maybe knock your trash can over. But
that's the
uh,
minimum number for
exact,
that
yeah.
advisory. Yeah.
So exactly. So this is even for a special weather statement, it's the lowest threshold really that they could use. So
Looks like there's a
just
lot
some
of
rain,
wind in
thunder,
it
and
though.
lightning. Yeah.
Like and the rain, like aren't that CMT awards tonight?
Yep. That's right.
And I think they should all be in their seats by now, which is a blessing. Could you imagine them all getting wind blown and soaked as they're trying to get in there?
I
Um,
think they did shut the carpet down for a little while.
yeah, because
Saw that
well,
on news posted that they shut the carpet down for a while for some lightning earlier.
hmm and then there was another little cell that came through right as you and I were coming on here. I guess I need to send another tweet about it. But yeah, I was looking at the Tbna radar and it looked pretty innocuous, and of course the Hopkinsville radar is hitting it pretty weird at a weird angle. So yeah, it looks like maybe a little bit of lightning that was going on in that core has come off of it. So maybe just like kind of earlier this afternoon when we had the lightning run through in the morning. I mean, not in the morning, in the early evening, and then it kind of dissipated, and then it laughed at my tweet and started lightning everywhere, which I appreciated.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
yeah. All right.
Hey, Christopher, appreciate your comment here. Again, we're just trying things out, and so it could very well be what you hear there is because I don't have headphones on. That could very well be the case. So I turned my volume down a little bit, and you can tell me if it's better when David talks. We're going to make him talk some more. So hopefully that fixes it. But yeah, any comments you have like that, let us know. If you're hearing an echo or something like that, we want to know that.
Could be me
So we can
too.
straighten all this out because when we get warnings here and we're all jumping on here. And the plan is, by the way, that Will join us as well when we get some warnings, and we, that maybe all three of us could be on here and just sort of collaborate with you during the warnings. So that's kind of the idea. So we want to get this right before that kind of stuff happens. I think Will's eating dinner right now, but I don't know if that shouldn't stop him here. I mean, we're eating. You are. I just finished.
I canceled I was supposed to play hockey tonight in Bellevue and canceled it because this line was supposed to come through when we were getting on the ice, and now it's coming early, so probably just as well because I probably would have been late, which would have been good for my team, frankly.
Well, let's see, David. What else to talk about? This thing's kind of falling apart. Boy, we had a positive lightning strike there just outside of Fairview. So,
Well,
in
it's
fact,
ahead of the rain too. That's not the
yeah, it
legacy
is.
strike from earlier. Yeah.
No, that's a new one. So we got some lightning hitting out ahead of the rainfall out there in western Williamson County. So out there just north of Fairview. In fact, it looks like it hit right off of if you live out that way, CCC Road. I've always loved the name of that road, man. Anyway, yeah, it's right there north of Fairview and Highway 96, where it goes up to the interstate and I-40. And so positive lightning strike there that would have. These are the ones where we get a tweet that says it shook the house. This is one of those, and they're they're very powerful. And that was just north of Fairview there. So yeah, if you're outside in western Davidson County or western Williamson County, if you got to be outside for a second, you may not want to do that because there is lightning hitting out ahead of the rain. But other than that, it doesn't look very threatening.
Is my mic misbehaving?
It sounds fine to me, but that could be a little. It could be a little different on the.
I wonder what slapback means.
It just means you're hearing it in two
Is
places.
that like a cool like audio music term?
Don't ask me, man. I'm not cool.
Well, I mean, we've long since established neither of us are.
That's
That's why we need Will.
If y'all want cool, yeah, we're missing the guy that's cool. So he's eating.
Yeah, I'm pulling some. I'm distracted by the models. Sorry.
David's the model guy. David is, of course, we're all into the computer models and the weather forecast, but David has a really good gift of diving into the weather model data and pulling out some.
Yeah, the more I learn, the more I know I don't know anything.
That's well, that happens when you dive into predicting the future.
Did
As
you know
weather
that
is.
this is complicated and nuanced?
It is. I was teaching a class on weather today at Lipscomb University, and I told them today it's the second time we've met, and I told them today that it turns out that predicting the future is hard.
Bro,
Which
the Euro is just not, the 18Z is just not coming in. So it's going to be after midnight before we get the 0Z
the 18Z
sweep.
is just not coming
The
in.
18Z just hit.
So for those of y'all that on
This is
Central
riveting,
Time,
by the way, streaming right now.
this is, I know that's 1 p.m. 18Z 18 Zulu is
So it
1
means the model
p.m.
ran at 1 p.m. and it takes like what, how much time it takes for the model to run, an hour or something.
Yeah.
And then they gotta get the data out and distribute it to all the places that have them. And of course, we have access to all that stuff, but sometimes it is slow. But not the HER. The HER's still got 2 more hours to go before we get the good stuff.
Well, since we're talking about the HER, David, let's answer Tom's question here. We're gonna have another round tonight. So we've had a couple of rounds come through.
Ooh, I can share my screen.
Yeah, share your
Do
screen,
that.
David. Let's do that.
Let me figure out how to do that here. Hang on. It's gonna ask me which one.
It's tough
Do I
choices.
want to share?
When you're like us and have 5 screens going on, you have to choose which of the ones you want.
It might
And you have to be
crash
very
my
careful to
thing.
share the right one.
Well, I mean, all you're gonna get are just weather stuff.
Pick your model. Pick your.
Well, it's not. It's not. I'm clicking the button, but this is what happened last night when we tested it. It didn't want me to roll. It's. Yeah, there I go. It's gonna take a minute.
That's fine.
This is what happened when we tested last night.
Yeah, we tested this last night. We're kind of enjoying this new software here.
Like my whole thing is frozen right now. So.
Oh, you frozen?
I mean, it's still working. It's just freezing everything while it loads my choices.
You're frozen on my screen too.
That's good because I'm eating my chicken.
We can here. Let's pull David up and look at David frozen. That's a good look, David.
I don't think anybody wants to see that, Andrew.
I don't know. I'm enjoying it. All right, let's get that off of there.
Yeah, this share screen thing is cheeks.
It's what?
It's cheeks.
That's the new
Here
word
it comes.
everybody's using. Oh, we lost him. All right, let's go back to my share screen here. All right, so we got this radar. David will be back in just a second. Here he comes, right here. Let's bring David back in. He's back.
Well, it angered my computer when I tried to share the screen. Now I'm afraid to try it again.
I'll try it again. It's just us. 55 others. It's not bad.
Hey, it's a good thing that we're not pounding the links for people to come on here and watch this.
Yeah, we won't retweet this link right now for everybody.
If we actually had a storm, we'd be hearing mostly from Andrew anyway. All right, let me try it again. Here we go. Excellent. It's the first time that it fails. Okay.
There it is.
So here's the latest HER, the latest complete run. And difficult to see, but here's the timestamp up here, 7 p.m. tonight. And the first thing you got to notice in this model is it's initializing poorly, which means
It is initializing poorly. Let's tell them what that is, David, because I
yeah, what
noticed
that
that
means
too.
is, so a model is basically trying to predict the future, and what it does is it builds on itself. So it takes information from the first step on the chain and then tries to make assumptions about the second step and builds upon those two assumptions the third assumption, and then tries to forecast out from there. And so the further away you go from start, the more likely it is you are to make an error.
Kind of like
Here, the
Plinko.
model, yes, here the model is starting incorrectly because it's almost 7 o'clock right now, and there's a line of storms right here, just west of Nashville and Williamson County, actually entering our counties now.
On
And the model
radar.
doesn't think they're there.
That's right.
So when we say it's initializing poorly, it's still garbage in, garbage out problem. We might be putting garbage into the model and therefore getting garbage out of it. But just for fun, we roll it forward, we go up to midnight and then 1 a.m. and just some scattered junk around here. And then kind of nothing really while we sleep. And then in the morning, about 8 a.m., it tries to pull another convective line south of us, but maybe we get some rain south of 40, and then off it goes. So it looks kind of like a nothing burger, but I don't put too much value in it because it's initialized so poorly.
Yeah. One way you can immediately tell when to trust a model is to look at the first frame. And if it looks like the radar currently, then you can put more faith in the result that it spits out. But that's not the
NAM's
case
done
this
the same
evening.
thing.
Yeah, NAM's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
NAM is also
initializing poorly.
poorly.
That means the models
Yeah.
really aren't all that helpful tonight.
But
And
the general idea, somebody asked me on Twitter today, why do we use the models if they're terrible?
yeah,
Because it gives you a general idea, even though they can't be relied on for specific accuracy. These are all suggesting that there may be a little bit of showers in the morning, but most of the activity will go south of us. And by the way, the NAM, this is the 18Z NAM, so it should give us an idea about Wednesday. Looks like showers Wednesday morning, and it puts a nasty little QLCS in here. About a midnight ETA Wednesday night.
that's the main event Wednesday that y'all are asking about here.
This is it. Yeah.
That's it there.
So it's got, okay. So yeah, this is this to really get into the weeds. This is what the model thinks is a tornado sounding. A low end tornado risk, which is why SPC has outlooked us. But several things about this, and it's hard to see on here, but the surface-based CAPE is 600, which is plenty. The low-level helicity is running 42 knots of shear with SRH, the storm relative helicity of 343. So I mean that's enough to get it turning. But you notice there's lots of things in the sounding that might suggest we won't have a bad storms. For one, the low-level winds aren't due south; they're a little bit more southwest. Ideally, for a tornadic environment, we would have more of a south or even a southeast component at the low levels, which we don't have, which is an encouraging sign. The other thing is there's a few kinks here in the line, which suggests there might be a temperature inversion somewhere, which may inhibit convection, which convection is what you need to make tornadoes. So that doesn't look all that good for tornado genesis, meaning the making of tornadoes. And then the other thing is you got to remember this is the NAM. This is the drunk uncle of the model family. This is the member of the family who in high school was subbed in the third quarter and hit a three-pointer. And now he's 40 years old and out of shape, and he still thinks he can ball. That's the NAM. So we would really rather have some more credible model data come in here. Anybody who bases a forecast on the NAM is either intoxicated or ignorant. So I don't think that we should really do much. And basically, before I click this, I would have told you it would have looked like this because it's the NAM. It is always super dramatic. And it's just a tool in the toolbox that you should hardly ever use. But it's the only one that's in range right now. So for timing, This gives me confidence that the 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. timing from Wednesday night to Thursday morning is probably still a pretty good timing. So anyway, that's the NAM, the drunk uncle of models. No big deal, and we're just waiting for the Euro to finally run. It's taking its time.
Those of you that were hearing David twice earlier, you can let us know if it's better now. I've put on some headphones.
Yeah, let me know if it's better. This is such a test run. By the way, we're doing this because we think that we can do a better job for y'all if we put more voices on here. You're still going to hear Andrew like 90 to 95% of the time. But this is a more effective way for us to communicate with him and in turn with you when we get super bad weather. And that way, we would want to encourage you to watch us rather than merely just listen to Twitter, because we can disseminate the information to you faster through this medium than we can Twitter. That's the spirit of it. So
Yeah, so one of the weak links in our operation when we have warnings going on, we all three of us have a great connection with the weather service. We have good communication over Twitter. David's over there on Twitter. Will's taking reports. I'm on YouTube Live. But really, our weak link is actually communicating with each other, I think. And so we can, it's easy to miss texts or messages. And so this is a great way for us to collaborate and to be able to communicate with each other a lot better than we can off screen when we're trying to each do our own thing, with David on Twitter and myself on YouTube and Will taking reports. So it'll be good to have us all in the same room, I think.
I'm going to push this tweet out here. It looks like lightning activity is decreasing. Now, this is really riveting to listen to someone type.
Listen to somebody tweet.
Yes.
Thanks, Gina. We appreciate it. Glad it sounds better.
Nobody's going to get hurt from this unless they're, changing the light bulb on top of one of those radio towers. But even then, the lightning activity is decreasing as we roll through. And again, this makes sense. Remember, there wasn't any CAPE here to fuel these storms as they came in. And then, as you were saying earlier, Andrew, it looks like the tops of these things have come way down.
Oh, yeah.
Which, reason we say tops is if you think of a thunderstorm as just a really tall cloud, which is, I guess, in its basic form what it is, the taller it is, the further the rain has to fall, then the more rain can fall down. So if the storm is shorter, meaning not as tall, it's not going to rain as hard. And a lot of times these things get really tall, and then all the water just falls out of them because the updraft can't be sustained.
Did you just say if the storm is shorter, as in not as tall?
I did, because people commonly don't understand tall.
Okay.
I'm tired.
I know
I worked
that's
all day. I had to write this really
I
sad
know.
letter. So
Well,
yeah,
that doesn't sound good.
no. Let's see.
Brady wants to know if we're going live Wednesday. So traditionally, we've only gone live if there are severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings in Davidson or Williamson counties. We're going to expand that a little bit. We're thinking about going on before warnings are issued, but we haven't made a decision yet about Wednesday. But we'll let you know once we jump on. We'll tweet a link if we decide to go on live. We for sure plan to be on if there are warnings. But beyond that, we'll keep y'all updated and let you know, depending on what's going on. Yeah, Jackson asked over there if we use Radar Omega, and we have that as just one of the tools in our toolbox.
Here it is. Here's the MRMS version. We are recent converts to Radar Omega.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't love it. I like it. And it does a lot of really good things for us. But it's a backup really radar site. I mean, we could shift it to the single site here. But this Gibson Ridge program that we've got is just superior. It just came out. The newest version just came out. It's fantastic. And I really like it, but if that were to somehow fail, we know how to work this as well. And this has got some interesting features that the Gibson Ridge products don't. But to answer your question, yeah, we use it, um, and it's a good kind of one-stop shop for things. But when you're really diving into it, there are other tools that are better, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm not throwing any shade at this product. I think it's amazing what they've done with this app over the years. Um, but I'm a GR level 2 version 3.0 guy. There's a question here about any chance that we're going to shift east. The answer is no, because Upper Cumberland weather's already there. Anthony's doing a great job over there. You should follow him. He's doing fantastic work. He has the same relationship with the Weather Service that we do. And frankly, as I tell people, we're too busy getting local weather wrong that we don't want to expand to the number of counties that we're getting wrong. So we're just going to concentrate on Nashville and Williamson County. But the main reason is like we know what's going on in Nashville and in Williamson County. We don't know what's going on the plateau. Like I wouldn't know if the CMT awards were going on in Nashville if I lived in Cookeville, and I don't know what they're doing in Cookeville. So that's why we don't cover over there.
Yeah, and to clarify, we were
Yeah.
talking about we may go on if there's weather to the west of us. It's not because we're covering those counties; it's because it would be approaching us in Davidson, Williamson. So it's not that we're taking on additional counties off to our west, because there are other T-Spotter network folks that are covering those counties, but it would be sort of a lead up to the coverage of our two counties. Would be the reason we do that. So,
Pettis asked if we use WSV3. Yes.
Yep.
Andrew
Yeah,
does.
we use. I've got that, and use it sometimes on YouTube Live. Specifically, usually we use WSV if we're trying to time out storms. If you ever see like an ETA list of cities or neighborhoods, communities, something like that, that typically comes from WSV3. Those of you that are familiar with different pieces of weather software, that's one of them that's out there. One of the several. We use most of them in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Not typically one exclusively.
Yes, we know about Ryan Hall, y'all.
Yep.
We don't stick our heads in the sand completely. Or voluntarily. Yeah, so we still have the red box. By the way, if y'all ever look at our radar and you see this red box, it means that somewhere in this box is 50 by 50 square mile box. There's been a cloud to ground lightning strike within the last 30 minutes. And we draw it here so that we can distinguish cloud to ground lightning from cloud to cloud lightning. But it looks like it's all fallen off. And if I can go ahead and slow this down, this strike was a positive strike north of Fairview about 20 to 25 minutes ago. It hit it looks like 6:45. So this box is going to stay red until that times out. This other one hit at 6:36, and it'll time out here in a minute or so. So that's what this means. And typically, it's the most important thing in the summer. It tells us lots of things, but a lot of it is, y'all are worried about getting hit by lightning. But it looks like almost all the lightning activity is gone. I haven't seen a single new strike. And turn off the radar data. There's one strike here. There's one strike up here near Ashland City, but I don't see another one, Andrew, in the last 25 minutes, which it makes sense that it would decrease in frequency.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
And by the way, there's not going to be another advisory on here. They let the other one expire at 7, and there's no reason to. I was looking at the Tbna Radar, which is this one, and the winds coming right into Brentwood are under 30 at 300 feet. They're 25 miles an hour coming right across Old Hickory Boulevard in Brentwood. So even
weak
that,
sauce.
yeah, I mean that's not even going to knock over your weak lawn chair. But it looks like they're coming in right at west northwest wind right at Tbna. So that's nothing. So at this point, we don't really have anything to add. It's just raining, which is fantastic.
Nothing, huh?
That's yeah.
So I'm gonna drop a Brad. I appreciate your words here, asking how you can support our efforts, and I'm gonna drop just there in the chat just the link. We do have Patreon, and we always appreciate uh, you guys and participating in that. Helps us out a lot. And so I'll just drop that right there, Brad, for you, and just in case anybody else is interested. But we really do appreciate that. Yeah, David, this looks to me like, I mean, Leaper's Fork, is going to get the heaviest downpour right there along Pinewood Road, and that's about it. So
Yeah.
nothing much.
So we'll
Well,
see.
yeah, we'll see. Just a little bit of rain, and again, the models haven't been super helpful for tonight. So we could have a couple more rounds of rain, maybe some storms, but we'll just nothing
But
major.
let's look at the euro and then let's stop talking.
Euro's coming in, huh? Let me enlarge your
Well, this
screen
is the
here.
18Z, so
That's not what I meant to do. Hang on.
it's not the
Okay.
best. So this doesn't look like the other models because it's a global model. It's not a convection allowing model, and that's why it looks different. But we're looking at 7 p.m. here on Wednesday, so you got a little bit. It looks like there's some activity coming in from the southwest, and then the main line trying to form out here and all congeal into one. This is a very common springtime setup. So if you sample our atmosphere at 4 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon, you got Cape about 700. You've
I
got
can't see
half
the lapse
this.
rate, but man, that's a decent
Yeah, the
lapse rate
lapse
there off
rate's
the
really
surface.
terrible. It's -3
Oh, okay.
from the surface. Yeah, there's not much
Oh, is
to
that the
it.
lifted index? Is that the lifted
Yeah, I'm
index?
sorry. The lifted index is -3, so the lapse rate's. Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. But
It's
the
a decent
helicities
lapse rate
are.
off the surface.
Yeah, the lapse rate's pretty good, but the the low level shear is half of what the NAM had,
Yeah.
22. Um, the wind profiles also aren't turning that much. The hodograph looks pretty shallow, and it doesn't even ding the tornado parameter down here. But that's just at 4. Let's go forward into the evening. It looks pretty marginal. We lose our cape. So it looks like the euro has this convection coming in on Wednesday afternoon, late afternoon, into probably a thunderstorm environment, but that might use up all the cape for the main event coming through. I guess that's the theory as to why it would say that. Let's go forward to hour 60. And yeah, I mean, right as the line is coming in, that would make sense. So yeah, this looks meh. I mean, if you're looking at right before it gets here, I mean, even the mixed layer cape is not even to 300. So, and even the wind profiles don't look all that supportive of a tornado. So maybe a wind event. Again, I'm like we said at the very beginning of this stream, y'all. I'm not sold on this being a really bad event for us. I certainly am not throwing any shade at the forecast because I think the risk area dropping off just to our west is right. And I would need to see a little bit more information before I became concerned. Yeah.
There's a good question here from Paul, and he says, "What is it about the southeast United States geographically that causes it to be a good place for tornadoes?" And Paul, I'm gonna show you something here.
Paul, what is
That
up? I know Paul.
you
Paul
know,
is good
Paul.
people. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't
We'll
talked
let
to him in
you.
a
Well,
while.
I was going to answer his question. I may let you do
No,
that.
you answer it because he's heard me talk forever.
Okay. All right. Well, I actually did a class today. I was telling you, I actually was teaching a class at Lipscomb here on Mondays on weather, and this was one thing that we talked about today. Is so what is it about the southeast that makes it conducive for tornadoes? And a couple things you got to have for tornadoes, for really thunderstorms, but specifically for tornadoes, you got to have moisture, And our source of moisture here in the eastern part of the United States is this right here, the Gulf of Mexico. That is the source of our moisture. If you notice today, we had pretty strong south winds. And those winds, as I was driving this morning up I-65, the flags at FRA and all the big flags around were all facing north. We had a very strong south wind, and it's just pulling moisture out of the Gulf. It's blowing right up over it. You got to have moisture. You got to have instability, and you got to have lift to get thunderstorms. And so, but one of the big things is really, you can get that anywhere. But one of the big things for us is our proximity to the Gulf of Mexico. And that's what gives us a lot of the moisture that we need to get bad weather up here. Now, there's a lot of specifics on how tornadoes form and all of that, but that's how we get stronger weather. I mean, just generally, you look at the map here, and you kind of see where it gets brown out here in western Oklahoma, west of Oklahoma City, west of Dallas, Fort Worth, west of Abilene, western Kansas. It kind of gets brown out here. Well, it's nice and green over here in the east. All right. Now, this is just kind of very general, but it's very green here in the eastern part of the United States. Well, it's because we got all this moisture down here in the Gulf of Mexico. All right. And so not only does it give us green trees, green grass, all that kind of stuff, but it can fuel thunderstorms. And so, but to get those tornadoes, you got to have moisture, and our proximity there really kind of helps that out. David, does that kind of help? As kind of our proximity to the Gulf, our proximity to the Gulf of Mexico.
That sounds right to me, although I wasn't really listening to you. I was answering this person's question about what's happening later tonight. And then somebody asked me if I was quoting lyrics from Live, which I know what he was talking about, but the answer is no. It's a different lyric. Yeah, whenever I get those questions, and I mean, Paul asked a really good question. What is it about it? Like, it feels like you gave the right meteorological explanation. But to me, it feels like more of an existential question. Like, why is the sun hot and why is water wet? It just is. We are just kind of in the wrong spot, especially for nighttime convective thunderstorms. It's just a fact of life here, like earthquakes and taxes.
Earthquakes and taxes.
By the way, dude, I found I was about to submit my taxes, and then I forgot that there was like another source of it. Yeah, they're not done.
Oh,
like I thought I was finished, and now I'm not. So I'm really loving life. I'm loving being American tonight.
David's trying to get his taxes in.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know that this is necessarily for public knowledge, but it's just how I'm feeling at the moment. I don't really have a very good filter, which is why Andrew is better at this than I am.
It's just 67 people. Now, if you started talking about your taxes, the severe thunderstorm warning coming through, we might mute you. But
dude, during a severe thunderstorm warning, I can't think of anything else except for this severe thunderstorm. Yeah, I'm getting text from the soccer fields, and they're asking me, and I'm like, bro, I'm on Twitter. It's the whole point of this whole thing. Sorry.
Let's get off of here.
I mean, honestly, I'm not sure me being on here adds to the product.
This test tonight that y'all are here for, all 61 of you, we lost 6 people just then when you were talking about taxes, by the way. But this whole test here is just to see if we can handle David being on the stream. So it's been good. It's been good, David.
Well, look, I'm not going to try to be anybody else. So
David, I'm really excited for David to join our stream. It's going to be good.
Some of y'all don't know this, but before Andrew, I used to point my iPhone at the computer screen.
That's right.
And do this myself on Periscope, and it was a hot mess. Is it true if a tornado forms outside of the plateau, it generally won't come into the city? Okay. I don't really understand it, but I think I know what you mean. The answer is no. The tornado is going to do what it wants. The tornado doesn't care about your blue shed, the river next to you, what grandpa told you about valleys. It doesn't care about whether or not it's hit your house before. The tornado doesn't care about any of those things. We tend to think, because we're on average, 5'10", that anything that's 100 feet in the air is going to block this 30,000-foot tornado. It's just not. So, we used to hear the tornado won't cross the river. Tell that to people on March 3rd, 2020. It crossed the Cumberland like a half a dozen times, and then skipped over the Stones River, and then kept on trucking. So you don't have any special safe place from a tornado. They just don't exist. So you need to have a plan. Yes, a hill. Yes, not a hill. A hill, an isthmus. What other kind of a plateau?
Yes.
A valley, a fjord, a dam. Tornado doesn't care about that stuff. Tornado is not intimidated by our local geography. It's an atmospheric phenomenon. So, um, I grew up with that nonsense too, and it was usually people trying to make sense of the atmosphere without data and information. And so they concluded things in order to try to make sense of stuff in a vacuum of information. Well, we don't know everything, but we do know, because we have more information now, that a lot of that stuff is not true. So yes, Mesa. Yes,
Mesa.
Brad. Yes, the Mesa.
Oh man.
I mean, honestly, if you were here in 2020, you know that geography did nothing to that supercell,
Mm.
and it killed a lot of people. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just trying to make the point. It doesn't care about I-40, and it doesn't care about the crickets that were chirping last night, or, as somebody said, the roundabouts in their neighborhood. The thought that like people go around the roundabout and that creates helicity, which is ridiculous. So yeah, so you need to have a plan, and you need to make that plan now, so that in case you need it, you're not hitting us up on these messages over here on our screen 5 minutes before the storm comes to your house. Now that said, most of y'all are never gonna get hit by a tornado. You just need to have a plan. Do some adulting. Hey, look, we got lightning now down in Spring Hill, near south of Boston. Which, by the way, I've driven through Boston in Williamson County, and it's nothing like I thought it would be. I blinked and it was
Oh,
gone.
Boston's great. I don't know what you thought it would be. Boston's
I
great.
thought it would be like a, hey, you're now in Boston.
There's a store.
And
There's a little store down there. There's a little
I didn't
general
know that.
store. Well, I
I
think.
mean, I've been
Well,
there 100 times. I got lost down there trying to figure out where to throw out my paint.
oh, you were trying to go to the Pinewood Road dump out
And
there?
we were
Yeah.
like, well, let's just go around here. And then we drove through down there when Will and I went on that tornado survey a couple years ago.
Here's where David was going. Here's where he was. That's good. It's a beautiful place. Let me turn the radar off. See all the hills and valleys. It's a really.
I'm not throwing
pretty
any
place.
rocks at it. It really is pretty. I think they had a bunch of yard signs about they were against some sort of development.
Probably.
If I remember
I
correctly.
think there's a little store right here. I think right there
Okay,
is a
but
little
I mean,
store.
somebody like write Boston and put it on a sign and nail it to the ground so we can see. Because I feel kind of silly
true.
every time I call it out. Like I've been there.
And now here's one that David, I added this one on our map. This is Smarden. Have you ever been through Smarden?
Yes, I
Have
have.
you?
I didn't know I'd been through there. I have been down all these roads, man. Either on
Yeah,
my
this is
bicycle or just driving around. Yeah.
right there near the Natchez Trace.
Mhm.
And yep, that's Smarden.
That's a
There's
CG
Natchez Trace
strike
Road, which
right next to Boston, Andrew.
sure is. Yep,
It's that one right there.
right there. It's a pretty strong one too.
There's a CG strike at
In fact,
7:16, so 6
my
minutes
weather
ago.
station in my
Yeah.
yard just picked that thing up.
So if you are in Thompson Station, Spring Hill,
Another one out
anywhere
there
along 40,
toward Greenbrier.
you should probably, I mean, it's dark, so you should probably wrap up soccer practice or your shirtless ultimate frisbee or whatever it is you're doing out there. Have you noticed that people like to play ultimate frisbee mostly shirtless? It's a
Really?
phenomenon. Mhm.
Huh.
Maybe it's just what I see. but I mean, it's usually summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I probably wouldn't fit in well, but
No, I
that's about
definitely. I mean, I barely even take my shirt off when I shower.
we'll
Yeah.
just stick over here with weather.
This is what happens when the stream has gone on too long.
It
Yeah, so a
is.
little bit of lightning there, but nothing behind it. And I was hoping that the HUR would hurry up and fix itself on this 23Z run, but I don't think we're going to get there in time. Let's see. Because I get a lot of questions on Twitter about, well, what's going on tonight? You know, people, do I need to give my dog the lightning medication? I don't think so. I really don't. 23Z is coming in.
Appreciate it, Hayden. I think we
Hot.
should. I think we
What,
should.
fire
Let's get
me?
this. No, let's get this broadcast trending.
No. We don't want that. Frankly, the fewer broadcasts we do, the better off everybody is because there's nothing to talk about.
We might just delete this broadcast when we're done. Get it out of our archives.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, so there is a little lightning with this, but other than that, I mean, look at this. Look how weak sauce this is. I mean, this thing is totally falling apart except for the little bit of lightning. So
Hey, put the tilt up and look at how tall the updraft is. Just curious. There's nothing.
up there to about 18, 20,000 feet. Nothing crazy. Hey, look, this is where it turns to sleet. That ring right there.
Yeah. It's aliens,
That ring
Andrew.
right there. This is up at
Come
about...
on, you know the truth.
What?
You know the truth, it's aliens.
It is aliens.
I'm not going on Zanies.
Well,
Okay, so we went to Zanies a couple months ago. I had never been before. And I like stand-up comedians, obviously. And we went and saw this guy who was from India. And he stood up there for this is like a legitimate, you know, famous comedian. I forget his name. And I'm just blown away at how talented these guys are, who can stand up there for an hour and keep an audience's attention and be funny, and even stray off the script and say something good. There is no way you can do that at a club like Zanies unless you've been doing it for ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and going and flopping and putting in your 10,000 hours of effort. So yeah, please no. Also, I'm not funny. Okay, so the HUR did not initialize very well. Although
everybody,
it did.
let's welcome Will.
Oh, Will's here. Oh gosh.
Will's here.
Finally.
How was supper?
Supper was terrific. Thank you. Yeah.
Will has come to save us from whatever this is.
Well, I'll tell you, the conversation really has been trailing off, and so I thought I would come on here and say that this storm nerfed, and we should.
And so did our conversation.
But then somebody on here goes, "This is oddly entertaining," and I was like, you know what? It kind of is, because for so long people have only had access to us, through Twitter as a word medium rather than a video medium. It's interesting that we haven't been able to do anything to really give folks kind of a behind the scenes look into the conversations that we have about, what storms are going to do or what a forecast is going to do. So I'm happy that we're able to bring this to our followers.
Hey, is Nashville Soccer Club having some sort of scrimmage in the morning? People were asking about 10 a.m. to noon, and I haven't seen anything on their social about it.
I don't know.
And so I tweeted at Soccer Moses because I figure the people who care also follow us and Soccer Moses. And only Soccer Moses, as you know, can save us.
Soccer Moses is a good follow.
Dude, Soccer Moses the whole concept is great, but dude, like I've been to a few games and he gets up and he's got the costume on and everything. It's just brilliant. It's brilliant. Anyway, it looks like we're gonna need Moses in the morning because the latest HUR is out and it's got like some showers just south of downtown. So I'm worried. that they're going to get wet. But whatever. I mean, isn't that the joke they always play when it's raining in Nashville?
I think that's why that account exists. It's because it's always so wet.
Thanks, Gina. This is fun for us too, if you can't tell.
Yeah, dude is great. Okay, but the her is still initialized like cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
Cheeks. So I'm not really believing it, but Andrew, it looks like the 23Z did a better job than 22. So thank you. So here's the 23Z, and at least it had the showers down here to our west at 6, which was true, but the run before it did not.
Mm-hmm.
It had some sort of nonsense at 7. So anyway, all that to say, by the morning, let me just put it in play. You can see what it does. It keeps us mostly dry, maybe a few showers overnight. So nothing really to worry about overnight. And then this rain kind of comes through to our south. So again, none of this will be severe. In about, I'd say by 8:45, we should have the 0Z run, which will give us a good idea as to timing on this potential severe event on Wednesday. But if you're just new to getting on the stream in the last 5 minutes or so, there's a significant question as whether or not it'll be severe for us. I don't see any evidence that this is going to be a bad event for us. It looks like you got to be further west to get the bad stuff. So we'll see. Again, it's too soon to draw any conclusions, but I'm not worried right now. I haven't brought the dog crates downstairs yet. We'll put it that way.
That's your trigger, dog crates in your safe place?
My family knows I'm serious when in like the middle of the afternoon for a nighttime event. Like I start scowling about shoes that are in the tornado closet that'll need to be there. Y'all need to clean it out and get the crate. Getting the crates when the dogs are involved, it's on. Okay.
I see some stuff kind of popping off near the Mississippi River up by Dyersburg, severe thunderstorm warning. But
what?
It looks like all of that is going to stay well to our north when it makes it this way.
Oh, good call, Will. Let's turn on the Radar Omega.
Daniel Vaughn asked a question. This is more lighthearted, Daniel, than talking about worst storms we've ever covered. But we all have an answer.
Yeah, it's the Nashville tornado.
Absolutely. Yep. Without question.
For sure.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Nope.
David, I've got you've got it. I was going to say. Got radar pulled.
Yeah, so the HRRR through midnight tonight keeps most of that convection well to our northwest, passing through Clarksville. But I have seen plenty of tornado activity back to the west in Arkansas, which David's highlighting here.
I'll go to it. Hang on.
Not expecting that to still be that level of intensity when it gets here overnight and into the morning. Probably turn into some of those showers that we're expecting.
Yeah, this one over here, and that's almost a 3-inch hail report. That's a supercell. This is in Arkansas, y'all, so we're fine. But all this activity is going to move in, but it'll nerf. It's gonna lose all its storm fuel overnight. By the time it gets to us, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
The largest hail I've ever seen was over in Arkansas. Like actually seen with my eyes. Right about this time of year. That was May of, I want to say like 06 or something like that. It was 5-inch hail. So they get some hailers over there.
Some lightning up here. It's weird.
Yeah, I saw that. It's not on the high res. I think that's an artifact for the Allison House regular ENTL product.
Yeah, it's a CC, not a CG strike too.
Oh, that's right. The high res is only showing CGs, right?
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, well, the way I have it set up now, yeah, that's right. But sometimes the CCG comes underneath the CC.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's all irrelevant now. I mean, Yeah, I think this technology is working fine, Andrew.
Yeah, it's good. Enjoy.
Does anybody watching this have any gripes with this presentation or the audio? Are there any issues that y'all see? Is it hard to hear or hard to see or anything like that you think we can fix?
It's like a soft opening of a new restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want
Only
to hear
the
my
coolest
story on
people.
that while people send in their answers? I have a story about a soft opening. I'll
Okay.
take that as a yes.
Yes, yes.
So
I was afraid to say anything.
Will has left. He doesn't want to hear my story. All right, so I'm visiting
Hayden.
Searcy. I'm
I had to
visiting.
sneeze.
I'm visiting Searcy, Arkansas, one week, and out in White County, Arkansas. And so I go and I stop in at. And I'm in a town I wasn't very familiar with some of the new development and stuff, and I stop in a McAllister's for lunch. So I go in and they welcome me in, and they said, "Are you here for um, Friends and Family Day?" And I said, "Yes," because the place that I was staying and that I was at, I was there for a Friends and Family event in town. So I said, "Yes." So I go in, I order my food. And when I order my food at McAllister's, they say, "Oh, no charge, no charge." Like I was pulling my wallet out, I'm like, "Really? This is like I don't know what, like a $12 lunch?" They're like, "Yeah, no charge." I was like, "Oh, okay." And so they hand me a buzzer. I go sit at my table, and while I'm sitting there, it dawns on me what's happening. They're not open yet. It is actually Friends and Family Day for the servers and the the cooks and the or whatever cashiers, whatever. And so their family comes in, their friends come in, they've got invites or whatever to come so they could practice. And of course, they weren't charging for that because it was just kind of they weren't open yet. Well, I didn't know. I was from out of town. And so I sit down and I'm like, oh man, like, do I tell them? I'm like, no, man, it's been like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. They've probably already made my food. So sure enough, lady comes, I give her, whatever it is, my card or buzzer, whatever I had. And she puts my food down. Like, it was a delicious meal. There is such a thing as a free lunch. So I finished my meal, and I get up, and by this time I'm fully aware of what's going on, and I don't know a soul in that place. And so as I'm walking out, I turn around to one of the cashiers over there, and I pointed at him. I was like, "Hey man, thanks. I really appreciate it. I'll see you later." Just like I knew him. And and I walked out. I was like, I'm
Is it
never
good?
going back there. It's delicious,
That's
but
funny.
it was free, and I wasn't supposed to be there. So
All right, I'm sending a tweet about apparently there's an open scrimmage tomorrow at the new stadium, open practice.
Brock, you're being way too nice, but I appreciate it.
That's what they're talking about.
I think that was sarcasm.
It had to have been.
One of them says that it looks a tad pixelated. And David, looking at your background there, like I see that on mine. It
Yeah, this is all web based, and so it could be part of that. This is a web based deal. So
Like my radar looks pixelated.
Pause the loop.
Well, when I had the Radar Omega up, it was automatically pixelated. That's a pixelated radar.
Yeah, go to your minimize that. Go to your desktop image.
now I know what he's talking about, David. This wasn't a Radar Omega thing. It's a
minimize GR, David, and go to your desktop.
There's some radars behind this. Sorry.
Jeez.
All right, there's my desktop.
See that, Andrew?
Yeah, I see that.
Blocky?
Hey, David, try to do a window capture instead of a display capture.
Yeah.
What?
When you share your screen, you can choose to do a window capture instead of a screen capture.
Oh. Well, let me put something up here for it to capture.
Andrew Brock said he was serious. That was a good story.
Brock, I really appreciate
We'll
that.
let you
I
go
wasn't.
on that one.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And Amanda can't explain why she's still watching, but here she is.
Amanda, I'm sorry.
We can't explain why we're still on here.
We don't know why we're still here. Yeah.
No, so for anybody that's joined recently,
Not really.
testing out some new equipment.
Maybe a tad.
I wonder if it's a latency or bit rate issue.
Well, I think we are only broadcasting in 720, and I may need to change that.
We are only in 720.
We can go. I think we can go 1080. I'll check and see. We obviously can't do that right now, but I'll check and see if we can do 1080. That may be better. But yeah, all of this stuff is web based, and so we're cooking over bandwidth, which we all have pretty good bandwidth, but
we just picked up a new WPC slate, day one slate.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go check that out.
I love how, right about the time we think, okay, let's go ahead and maybe shut it down, we go, a new product just came out. There's a lightning strike. Let's check out this lightning strike over here. So different than our...
I think 5 minutes ago, we just covered tornadoes in Arkansas, so we're deviating from the model.
See...
It would be good practice, though, for us to work that Arkansas tornado complex as if it were ours, just to figure out how it would work. It'd be a good dry run.
Of course, people are going to click on the stream and go, "Oh no, there's a tornado!
No, there's a tornado in Fort Smith.
This is in Arkansas. This is in Arkansas." Well, I don't see an SPC update.
WPC update.
Oh, well, that would make sense. Okay.
WPC slate.
Okay, United Fiber. Yes, go United. I love United Fiber. That's what I have. Great stuff.
All this. See what kind of bandwidth.
Yeah, it's whatever. I'm not a believer.
Not a believer in Silver Spring?
No, in us getting a flash flood event. Because we're super dry, and that risk is a little bit more northwest. And, I mean, slide is fine. It's 10% within 25. I mean, that's a pretty low probability. By the way, I'm looking at the Euro for next week.
You want to bring that up?
No.
You're not going to show a long-range computer model.
Do you mean the...
It would be so easy for us to
wintry mix that it shows? That's ridiculous.
Talk about deviating from a standard.
From our model.
Well, I mean, if we were to talk about it, we would talk about why, just because it has a color on there, it doesn't mean anything. Like I'm looking at one of them that's got a wintry mix output, and I look at the sounding, and the temperature at the surface is 38 degrees. I don't understand why the model would kick out a pink instead of a green. Even the sounding best guess P-type is rain. It's just...
Is it not below freezing anywhere up the column?
I mean, yeah, it's way below freezing at about... Looks like at about 2,000 feet, but it only wet bulbs down to 31 at the surface. So it's, I suppose, but if you get enough moisture in the column, but there's hardly any moisture in the column. The P-watt is 0.36.
Why are they doing a day one slate if we have a sub 1 P-watt?
No.
No. That's for next week, Will.
Sub 1 P-watt. That's for the winter event.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just so ridiculous. But I was mostly looking at it for the cold temps because I know all the planters and gardeners have been like, "Hey, is this going to be the last freeze?" And I'm like, I mean, y'all, I don't know. I still think we could get frozen. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because mine's doing that stupid thing on the. Andrew, why don't you take it over?
There.
Yeah, that looks a lot better. David, you got issues.
Oh, does mine look better?
Way better.
Really?
Mhm.
Dude, what's the matter with
Well,
my
it-
internet?
Huh. Interesting.
Amanda
Yeah.
Cronin asks, can you explain the day 1, 2, 3, etc.? Andrew, I think you could explain that pretty well.
Yeah. So
Look, we even have the question up at the bottom. That's so cool.
there it is. I can't let this one go though. So. Yeah. So, yeah, Amanda. So the day 1, 2, 3, typically a forecast is put out, and it's your day 1 is today. Your day 2 would be the next day, and the day 3 would be the day beyond that. So it doesn't go by days of the week like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or if it's Wednesday, they don't put out one that says Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's always just day 1, 2, 3. So typically a forecast, for example, with the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, would typically run, I believe it's from, is it 12Z to 12Z, David?
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Yeah,
yes.
it's not a calendar day.
That's right. So 12Z this time of year is 7 a.m. So a day 1 forecast would be 7 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
the next day.
Right.
Day 2 would be picking up there at 7 a.m. the next day and go to the 7 a.m. that following day. Day 3 would go beyond that. So, yeah, it's not really a calendar day thing, but it starts at 7 a.m. each of those days, day 1, 2, and 3.
I
It's kind
think
of how they do that.
any logical, well-thinking person would now be more confused because that system doesn't make any intuitive sense. It would
No,
be
it doesn't.
easier
That's right.
if it was just done on calendar days. But the problem with that is SPC forecasts for several time zones, and they couldn't possibly make that clear on a calendar day as to when midnight starts, because midnight starts for different time zones. So one of the ways to solve that problem is to, in weather models and in forecasting, base everything off of the Zulu time system, the Greenwich Mean Time system. And that makes it more clear. And then it requires the weather communicators to interpret that to make it make sense. So
No,
that's
this is
why
just
it's that way.
This is just a guess, David, but I also think, so why did they choose 12 Zulu, 7 a.m. or 6 a.m., depending on the time of year? This is just speculation, but I think part of it may have to do with that's kind of if you're going to divide it at any point when the severe weather might be in between events, 7 a.m. is a pretty good place to choose so that there
Right.
isn't as much confusion between severe weather event number 1 that happens on one day and severe weather event number 2 that happens on a different day. Now we get our share of nighttime and overnight storms and tornadoes and severe weather, but 7 a.m. might be as good as time as most for that differentiation to occur between day 1, 2, and 3.
Right. It also
And
might
different
fit
events.
like broadcast news cycles as well.
Oh, that too, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your least likely time really to have severe weather would be right before sunrise or maybe right after sunrise, but that early morning is less conducive for severe weather in most setups. So
I'll switch over to Paducah. What is the stuff in Northwest Tennessee doing over by Union City where that severe was earlier?
there's some hail in it. Let's go there and look at it.
Well, the question is, which way is it going?
Let's pull up Memphis radar here. Let me turn the lightning off.
I think it's going to go Paris, Clarksville.
Oh, here, I'll get a better view. Let me pull this up just a second here. Let's go to here.
Yeah, there you go.
So it looks like that's moving more to the northeast. So unless it kind of back builds down to the south, probably will miss most of us.
I'm pulling up the meso analysis upper level charts. Hang on.
So I just got a Slack from Luke, who is watching. Thanks for having our backs, Luke. Luke's our web guy. If you've never heard us talk about him, he said he agreed on the pixelated. He's getting 720. We need 1080. So
yeah, I'll play with that on the settings, and we'll get that right. But it seems that this one's clearer. The comments we've gotten that this one cleared up a little bit.
yes, for sure.
So the winds aloft, this is really kind of hard to see, but we were talking about these storms right here in northwest Tennessee that are producing hail and lightning are severe. The mean wind, meaning the winds from about 5,000 feet up and above that, are all pushing this thing exactly where Will said it was going, towards Paris, Clarksville. So it's moving in this direction. So one of the things we look at is we go to Spc Measure Analysis, and it tells us what's happening in the atmosphere now. And it gives us the general idea of which way the wind is going to push these storms. These storms don't move on their own. They get to get pushed somewhere. It looks like the wind will probably carry them north of us. So, yeah, I think that's right, Will. And then, I mean, there's no Cape.
No.
There's no
That's
shear.
us.
This is us. Well,
yeah.
just west of us in Cheatham County. Yeah, I mean, here's us.
Yeah.
There's nothing. So, I mean, there's nothing to worry about tonight. And the atmosphere is only going to become more stable tonight anyway. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, has this gone on long enough?
Well, I don't know. You want to see if there's another lightning strike, or story we
Sure.
can tell?
Maybe a nor'easter we can cover somewhere in New England.
Let's check out West Coast weather.
Those were that was a Tor E for a little bit there in Arkansas. It looked like.
Yeah, they had a mess out there in Fort Smith. Looked like it. Well, I reported. I didn't say the E, but I saw it reported.
Maybe it was reported. I saw a
Polygon, but yeah, that's just a reported, and
depending on how your GR
depending on how you have it set up. Yeah,
I think my Tor E is still pink too. What is it for you? Purple?
let's see.
Mine is double. Mine is
double black line.
The borders of the line.
Black, purple.
When it's Tor E, the border comes right in the middle of the purple.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was just a reported.
On those events, I don't need the tornado warning. I can tell you a tornado is occurring.
Come on, we can stretch this thing into Wednesday's storm. Let's just keep going.
I don't think so.
Nobody would care. Let's just all 54 of us. Let's just stay here. Just take off work tomorrow.
I mean, don't y'all have something better to do than to watch us? I mean, go watch The West Wing. I'm on season 4.
When you said earlier that SPC doesn't use days of the week because how would they know where it's midnight? That I had the most vivid flashback to CJ Craig trying to stand an egg on its end and saying that you can do it.
That episode was on the other night.
Exact moment of the equinox. Well, when is that? Well, it must be midnight. Midnight where?
Well, it has to be midnight somewhere.
That's it.
No, it doesn't, CJ.
We're West Wing fans, guys.
What this live stream could devolve into is just an entire West Wing sub.
One night when we have nothing going on, we need to just get on. We need to ping everybody's YouTubes that we've gone live and just do a West Wing watch party. We
need to get actual talented people in here to entertain the audience while we're trying to figure out what to say.
Yeah, where's Will Hogue? Where is Kelsey Ballerini? Any of the famous follows that we have? They can come in and play some music to talk us up until we get into storm coverage.
Oh, wait. Did you say music?
Oh, do you have music?
Oh, no. Yes. No, yes. Not the... Oh, there should be a rule against chair dancing.
It's a new feature, guys. I don't really know what that was, but
I'm sending a tweet. Riveting.
we got to go.
I mean, it's a downpour with lightning south of Nolensville.
Bowl cut 7467 said, now if you said The Wire, we have all watched The Wire. We could cover that with equal intensity to The West Wing.
I don't know about equal intensity.
Maybe not equal, but similar.
I've been through The Wire 4 times.
Yeah. Through the Wire.
And it's on Mount Rushmore for sure. Like easily on Mount Rushmore. With, in my opinion, West Wing and Breaking Bad. But I don't know that any of these shows really capture as many in the audience as like Friends would or Seinfeld would or something that would be, you know, when you look at our likes and dislikes on our analytics page, you'll see number 1 is NFL football. And then the rest of it is like way down the list. So most football analogies land, but yeah, as far as The Wire doesn't have the controversial questions that the West Wing presented. Like even today, I was thinking, I really think CJ is the one that leaked the military shuttle.
Really?
Like, because if you start watching
We're going down this road
the
now.
show, and in every episode think, who is going to be the one to leak something? It's CJ. She leaks that Danny Kincannon report when John Goodman is president.
Yep.
Before she's supposed to. She's constantly preaching to Bartlett about
the women of Kumar.
The women of Kumar. The
Indians
from North Korea.
Indians in the lobby.
Indians in the lobby episode. The Han episode where you had the guy who was trying to defect from North Korea. And she was, I mean, to her credit, the only one really standing up to the president and advocating for these people. I think that she was close with Toby. Like I think Toby took the fall for her. I just do. And by the way, the people who produce the West Wing podcast like live in Nashville. And I think they follow our Twitter and even reached out to us at one point. Like, I know that like Sorkin didn't write it with an answer in mind and left the tension in there so people would have these debates. But
I didn't know there was a West Wing podcast, let alone that it was here in Nashville and they follow us.
I mean, they finished it, I think. They've gone
there's another episode.
It's incredible. Yeah. Yeah. So I am team CJ leaked it. At the end, push comes to shove, she's pro press.
David, we just heard
yes,
we just heard your dog. Do you want to tell everybody what your dog's name is?
Oh yeah, it's Toby. Hey Toby, come here, buddy.
Yeah, and I have one named Bruno.
Do you really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Come here, buddy.
I feel left out. Maybe I need to rename mine. That may not fly, but
come up.
Here he is.
He thinks we're gonna play.
Bruno Gianelli right here.
Oh, nice. So your dog's obedient. Toby's like, come here, buddy.
Cool.
Right.
Guys, we're down to 36 people. We got into the West Wing.
We're ruining.
They've just put their phone down and forgot that it was on.
Ruining our reputation. So I haven't had any of the big bandwidth spikes that I was worried about. I haven't had any of the memory spikes. CPU is nice and cool. I mean, I think we're pretty solid. What about you, Andrew? You getting the feel of it? Do you know where you want to add more graphics or?
Yeah, I think so. I think there are a couple of things that are going to be a little more intensive, such as how to pull in our cameras. In fact, I'm going to try that real quick before we go.
Pull one of the downtown cameras because there's a little huddle maker coming in.
All right, so I'll pull in our our Midtown
All
camera.
those people at the CMT thing. I'm glad that's inside. Luke said they shut down bad lightning proximity. Is that Toby?
This isn't Toby.
No.
This is Bailey.
Will Bailey?
Yeah.
Let's see. How do I
This
do
is Bailey.
this?
The dogs.
He wants to go work for the vice president.
But doesn't believe in him.
Somebody's got to shape the
He
message.
ghosted for the governor of California. Oh, look at that. There's
it's
our-
backwards. It's
That
backwards.
is backward.
Look at our tornado.
That is backwards.
Let me see if I can
Why is
fix
that?
that. Here we go.
See, this is why we test.
This is why we test.
There we go. Yeah, we got the double logo though.
Hang on. Yeah, this is not easy to do. So
This
let
is
me
why we
see
test. So we just need to move that. Is that an OBS stream?
here. Yeah. There we
So
go.
we just need to move that to the lower.
That looks good.
Oh, you took that off. I see. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. Oh, I
Dude,
can hear.
if Josh Molina had ever followed us, I would pass out.
I heard we get an NFT if we are in the last 50.
All right. So there's there's
We
Midtown.
could get David to draw dry air monsters and sell them as NFTs, or Neds and sell them as NFTs.
Nipper's Corner. Oak Hill.
Mhm.
It's comforting to see the sky is still there.
Oak Hill.
How about Super Mega?
I don't have that one up. I'll have to...
Yeah.
Oh no, Goodlettsville's down. So is the North. I don't know. I'll have to give him a holler. We'll talk to him about that.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Things looking good in Brentwood. They're at the whatever that is. It's not Steinmart anymore. Whatever that is. All right, let me pull that down.
It's probably a Dollar General.
No.
Never.
I don't think
Not in
so.
Brentwood.
I don't think so. Okay, now how do I get this off? I think I could.
I'm a fan of that Waffle House over there in Brentwood, though.
There we
That's
go.
the cleanest
Yes.
Waffle House in the state.
It's great.
I don't understand why people throw shade at Waffle House. I'm a big fan.
Me too.
Name me a place where it's made to order and you can actually watch them cook it.
Yep.
Like every other place, you don't know what's going on back there. But at the house,
Hibachi?
it's
We,
right
we call
there.
it our favorite hibachi place. That's what we call it.
Yes. Cheesy hibachi.
Yeah. I'm out of features, guys. I'm done.
Good deal.
It's quite the little downpour in Shelby Park.
Oh, I didn't see that one up there. We have a new cell.
All right, Andrew. How about some weather coverage?
Yeah, that's right.
Will, do you remember a long time ago when we went and gave that talk at the Red Pepper?
Yes, I do.
And there were like 100 people in the room, and we got up there and we said we were never ever going to tweet the rain.
Now we're live streaming. the
And
rain.
now we're live streaming a downpour in East
The
Nashville.
downpour over Shelby Park is keeping us on YouTube for 36 people.
No, it just to be clear to the 12 of you still listening, we're not going to do this.
No.
Ridiculous. This is a tech test.
Yes.
And we're only going to go on if we really think it's worth your time. I mean, I don't want to go on just to be on. I want to go on because people are asking for it, and we can actually give you information that's going to change, in the next 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes after that, 5 minutes after that. Like I think that'll be the standard. And I said at the beginning of the stream, I'll say it again. I think this is a more effective communication tool than me typing in Twitter. We're still going to type on Twitter. We're still going to do that. But this is better for everyone. And hearing us talk, you might get a little bit more information than if you're just watching Twitter or you're just listening to Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
I would expect that if you had the choice between listening to Andrew or reading my types, that you should for sure listen to Andrew, because he can communicate in a visual medium much better than I can in a written, and he can do it more efficiently and quickly. So that is kind of the thinking, but we're here to serve you. Frankly, I think this is probably going to work out, but when we do stuff that you hate or you have ideas that you think can make us better, please let us know, because I just want it to be good. I don't really care what it looks like. Yeah, well, I mean, that's usually when I go for my nose, I just turn the camera off or sneeze or whatever.
So
Yeah.
I did just time it on the YouTube, and there's about a 25-second delay.
Yeah.
Which isn't that bad. That was something that
Which
we were
makes
worried
sense.
about.
Well, isn't it true on live television that's streamed? There's at least like
It's like a
6 to 7 second latency.
7 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So we're 25.
So that's pretty good for two goobers and one cool guy.
Oh man, that's gonna bother me.
It's you, Andrew.
I can't figure out. I don't know, Will. You're pretty cool. We were telling everybody that we were being really boring here earlier. We were just waiting for you to get here.
Need me to come liven things up?
Yep.
No. Do we need to do any other technical things on here while we're all still on?
I don't think so. I feel pretty good.
All right,
about
let's
it.
do this.
Like, I can leave the stream, but I can't take it over from somebody in case you lose internet.
Do I need to try to get off and just see?
Just shut your network off.
David, do you see anything on yours that says end stream anywhere? At the top.
No, I can leave. Here, let me screenshot mine and Slack it to you. I can leave the stream, but I don't see any other option to do anything else.
Okay.
Same.
So either you have to transfer.
Well, I know I can't do that, but I wonder if I get out, if it just gives it to somebody. I don't know.
See, I think what happens is you are the source, and once you leave, we are out. That's my guess.
Okay,
but
I'm going to figure out a better way to do that, because I think.
And by the way, we will promise to get it set to 1080, so that my capture. And if my capture is met, I mean, Andrew can just pull up the same stuff I'm looking at too.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll change some settings over here. I did look. I can't change it midstream. I pulled up the options, and I see it, but I can't change it.
I'm wondering if we should just drop cameras and mics and leave a full screen shot of GR playing in a loop. Is there any value to just letting it run for a while? See what happens.
You don't see why not. I'm mostly interested in what happens if one of us gets cut off.
Yeah, so why don't we try that?
Well, I know what happens if y'all get canned, because it's happened. But
yeah, you still go on. The show goes on.
Yeah. But what if I just X out my tab and we just see what happens?
Go for it.
All right.
That'll be all right. Well, if this is it.
See
you guys.
This is
hopefully not Wednesday night.
This is a sorry way for us to leave. Because it might be a
yes,
that's all right.
Thank you to the 37 of you that are inexplicably still on.
It's an hour and 34 minutes. We've had severe coverage not go on this long.
All right, let's try it.
All right, I'm gonna X out of here.
Hit it.
See what happens.
Yep.
Am I sure? Yes.
Be sure.
Well, hello, David.
Well, hello, Will.
You got big, and I stayed little. And Andrew's slacking.
Now Andrew's slacking. What's going on? We're trying to figure it out. Well, I don't have I can add channels. I can leave.
Yeah, I can't
but I don't
control
see where
anything.
I can. Oh, I can share my screen. Hang on.
Yeah, but it doesn't. He has to prompt it.
Let me pull that out. Let me share source. Hang on.
So yes, we are still here. So this is a testing session for us, and we wanted to see what happens if the person that is hosting the stream, if their computer got comped out, what would happen? And so what has happened is that it has left David and I
Grayed
in
out.
here.
It's only showing us.
Okay, Andrew's
but
gonna
I don't have the option.
Andrew's gonna rejoin and see if he can pick back up.
Let me show you what I'm looking at. Luke says only one authorized per stream. Yeah.
Luke's saying we would if we had logged in as admins.
Right. I only clicked to join the stream.
I only did too. I'm gonna
can't
log in under the credentials I created yesterday and see if that helps.
See, I am logged in already under my email.
You're an actual severe weather email?
My first name. @
Andrew didn't join back, did he?
What's up?
Oh, wait. Hold on. My video was set to 480p.
That would do it.
That might be it.
That would do it. Yes.
Andrew, did you hear that?
I did. It's really great to be back with you guys. That was a very sad.
Hey, Andrew.
That was a
while
sad
you were gone, I got invited to host 3 days of Good Morning America.
I'm sorry?
While you were gone, I got picked to do the weather for 3 days on Good Morning America.
Hey, Andrew, when you left, I had the screenshot that I Slacked you, and it had the ability to load a source. So I picked GR, and in my left tab, it's grayed out. It's not permitting me to click it and do anything with it.
Why don't you go out and come back in?
Like walk out of the room? And
Yeah, just walk in the hall.
All right, so I'm going to exit tab and then come back in.
Yeah, just leave it and then click the link again to come back in.
All right, see ya.
It's so funny. I'm going to try the same thing.
Okay. Well. All right, David's wanting back in. Let's see here. Let's get both of them back. Hey.
So I don't see anything different in what I just did. All I did was log in as Will at Max there, WXR.
Yeah. Andrew, when you left, it just went to our video of us on our cameras. It did not give us an option to show the radar or any other kind of capture.
Okay, so now I would be interested to see, now that we're both logged in, now leave Andrew and let's see what happens.
Oh, were y'all not logged in earlier?
No.
I was logged in. Will was not.
I was not.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Hang on. Let me send you this screenshot so you can see where mine.
Yeah, I don't even know what your controls looks like.
All right, so you want me to drop out?
Yep.
All right, I'll drop out.
But then join right back.
Okay.
No. Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wonder how he's pulling images that aren't the camera while he is in as the default admin.
That didn't do anything.
Okay. Now we'll have to figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, we tried.
Well, the good thing is that if something happened to me, y'all could still communicate.
And I would
Right.
bet that if it was David's screen share up, it would let that keep going.
Yeah, I bet it would.
I could not add a
It was-
source. That was my issue.
If it was already running
If it was already
and Andrew
running.
left, it would stay up.
Hey guys, I'm getting a power failure in 10 seconds. Put your screen up real quick.
Yeah, Luke says
Well-
only Andrew can see the controls because he's the primary. So I don't think there's a way for us to transfer who gets the controls. And when you leave, that's why I was saying initially, it seems to me it would make sense if you left that you would take the controls with you.
Yeah. The guys in Carolinas say there's a way they've done that, so I'll talk to them.
Okay.
We'll see if we can.
All right. So the action items are. I think I might have fixed my pixelation problem. Can you go to mine and see if it's still?
Oh yeah,
pixelated?
sorry, I didn't see your screen there. Here it is.
Does that look better?
I think that looks better. What do y'all
It was on 480. Now it's on 720.
I think that was just camera. Go to your background. That's where I can see it the worst. That black background image with the 10.
See you, Brian. Yeah, I hope we don't ever have to go live. I'm with you, bro. Where would we be without Will? I mean, Luke. Be screwed.
I know. I'm glad Luke is watching our back here.
Ooh, we can link to Twitch
And stream.
and Facebook Live.
Hey, David, can you go to your background?
Yes.
Yeah, they say they can read the text in the menus now, which they couldn't earlier. I agree with that.
All right, so what do you want me to do?
I think it looks better. Could you minimize that window? And kind of go to your background, like your desktop background? Oh, no, that's not it.
No, because I didn't capture the window.
Right.
I only captured the source.
That's right. Never mind.
Okay, bowl cut is coming in clutch. Yeah. It could be better. I think it might be better if we do broadcast at 1080.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it doesn't help that I was at half that resolution. Okay. Oh, here comes your day one convective risk. Well, it doesn't come to us, but whatever. Looks like they've enhanced Central Arkansas and Southeast Oklahoma.
Are you looking at Eric's tweet?
No, I'm looking at chat.
Oh.
Okay.
But we do need to get you a stream deck.
Why is that? Oh, for David?
I don't know. I'm just reading Luke. You initiate sent the links modes, get full back as well. Only Andrew can see controls as a primary. I've done a ton of StreamYard. We'll connect commanders.
I think we just need to do whatever Luke says.
Oh, I have
Remember
a stream right here.
Remember when our website used to crash? Now it doesn't anymore.
Well, so does the stream deck that you have for OBS work in this?
Well, it'll work with several different things. I don't have it connected at all to what we're doing here. I have Stream Deck configured to OBS that we used to use. The only thing it controls is my lights.
There you go.
The rest of it, is all scenes on OBS, which we used on the previous stuff. So I don't know. I'm not sure if it'll work at all with this or not.
Tor E north of Little Rock, according to Span.
Ooh, let's turn that on.
This is out of market coverage.
Ooh, this is really going to freak people out if we don't.
We have a
Oh,
market.
Yeah, 2 counties.
Are we selling things in the market? Okay. Let's
No.
see.
Holy cow, boy! Look at that. Hang on. Let me.
Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about
Oh,
with the
wow,
line
that's
through the
gnarly.
middle. Oh
Let
my
me,
gosh.
That's what mine is doing. Pink, black, pink.
Ooh, let me pull out the new.
Boy, that's close to their radar site. There.
Yeah, it is.
Dude, that's bad news.
I know this area very, very well.
Look at that hook by Cato, just north.
There's, the
Enrot to 1
Yeah, but that end rod is like well
1.4.
inside the B-word. There's not even a B-word in here. There's a.
No.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the
That doesn't look much.
it
Like
actually
to
does.
scan off.
It actually looks more impressive on reflectivity than it does on any other products.
Well,
It's also passing perpendicular to the beam.
it's also that vortex north of Gibson is 400 feet above the earth. So pretty low.
That's a weird looking supercell.
That's a very strong mesocyclone with a lot of inflow in it, but it hasn't condensed into a small
funnel.
circulation.
I'm gonna put
Yeah.
the lightning
It's still
behind it.
it's a broad circulation, and there's not a CC drop indicating debris.
No.
That's a very populated area, and if it's kind
It
of the
might be
west
right
of a
here though,
populated area.
Andrew. Yeah, that's still weird presentation.
That's where I
isn't
have it.
Yeah, back to the west.
No, I'm
Oh, I see,
showing there's a
east of Cato. I
CC
see
drop
what you-
right here, but that CC, like Will says, it's not even 500 feet
It's-
up off the ground.
That's noisy. That's noisy.
Yeah, it's. Where's another radar?
I am not completely
I'm reading the warning.
What's the text say?
completely convinced that is on the ground.
Little Rock says
Confirm large and
confirmed
destructive
large
tornado.
destructive near Olmsted. 8 miles west of Little Rock, moving east at 35. Tornado emergency for Cato, Gibson, Olmsted, Macon, Little Rock Air Force Base. It's a PDS situation. Radar confirmed.
Radar confirmed. I've never seen a Tor E on a radar with a radar confirmed tag.
Now, when did they issue it is the question. Let me pull down the prior images. Stand by. Like if you go back to the 110Z,
This was issued 10 minutes ago.
I'm saying go to the 110Z image that I've got right here. That's it right there for sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's the tornado.
that's
Yes.
a pretty small. That's it. It's not very
It's
big.
it, but it's right inside the cone.
Yeah,
And it's right on top of that. That Enrot spike is in the cone. Wow, that's
Watch
crazy.
it go. Yeah, but Andrew's right. It looks like it's cut off.
it looks like it occluded.
hmm
That's exactly what it looks like.
I can't believe people are watching us.
But thank God it has,
Yeah,
because that's not where you want to put a tornado.
no.
See right there, 108.
Yeah, that's what it did, and then the RFD came around the bottom side of it, and it looks like
Right
it occluded.
here
right there.
is where it starts to occlude.
That's
Yeah.
a sink drain look right there,
Mhm.
and but then
Right
it
in
looks
here.
like it occluded.
There's the occlusion, and it's going to get sucked right up into the core of the updraft on the next scan. So this will be all gone. yeah, hard pass on any of this.
Yeah, see what you don't want to do is like there on your reflectivity, which is up there in the top left of David's image. It's a pretty round looking signature there on the reflectivity that's huge. But that's not all debris. And we can tell that by looking at the product below that, the correlation coefficient. You might look at that supercell and say, that sucker's got like a 4-mile wide debris
Yeah,
ball.
no way.
But that's not what that is.
But
And you can
even
tell
Andrew at 16,000 feet, there's nothing up there.
Yeah, that's very encouraging.
That's all noise.
That
Anyway,
supercell
right.
could have been a lot more than that. So,
well, it looked like it was definitely on the ground for a couple scans at least.
Yeah, it looked like it was it looks like actually back in Faulkner County, there is a LSR. Homes were damaged near Highway 89. So it looks like it was on the ground back there at some point. And
they pushed the button for the E because it was confirmed and moved into there.
Yeah.
Well, and it looked pretty obvious on radar too. I mean,
yeah, they just hopped the warning over.
Okay.
Do you want to see a link that says
back to Nashville,
like some kind of crazy clickbait?
Hey, Will, your audio's gone. Are you on?
Yeah,
headphones?
yours. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
It's
Better.
very scratchy, or at least it was.
I need to get my mic out and get that set up if we're going to do more of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little scratchy.
It's staticky,
like a reception issue, like a Bluetooth thing.
Okay, hold on. I am using Bluetooth, so that is totally possible. Hold on one second.
How about?
I think that's better. Try again.
Better?
No, it's much worse. I can't hear you at all.
For you? So bitch. All right.
You need to get a wired mic, I think, Will.
How about now?
Maybe a little better. Try it again.
Testing.
No, it's still scratchy.
Still scratchy.
That is scratchy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Testing. How about now?
Yeah, so that one, it just cuts it. The quality's better, but it just cuts out.
Cuts out. Oh, you know what? I got some.
Yeah, it just disappears.
I got some options here. Hold on.
You have like it sounds like maybe a gate. You have a gate setting or a noise reduction.
Yes, there was noise suppression turned on.
That's better.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
All right.
I do hear a little bit more of the background, though.
Yeah, I hear a little bit of the background. The noise suppression stuff on these things is not all that great.
It sounds like there's a fan going in your office, and I can hear it.
There is.
Yeah.
Literally a fan going in my office.
It's the first time I've ever heard something.
All right, I'll play with it some more.
Yeah. All right.
How about now? How does that sound?
Not bad.
All right.
I either need coffee or I need to hang up.
Yeah, no, I gotta go too.
An hour and 53 minutes, guys.
Over a puddle.
Yeah, why did we come on? What was it?
To debug it, and it was useful. Like to see if it could
useful.
actually go for an hour. Like that was one of the concerns last night.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Bull Cut. I'm gonna go pop in my VCR, some old tapes, because I'm back in the old days. I'm gonna wait for my tax thing to come back. Then we're gonna go cry. All right.
And with that, we're out of here.